motivational day for me. Got to decide what I'm going to do. Then I've got to go and pay my rent. Maybe I'll feel better once I've lost all my money. According to the weather forecast, it isn't going to stop raining today. So I need an inside job. Yes, an inside job. What can I do? Brian Johnson. Let's take Brian Johnson up the other end. Let's store Brian Johnson and restart Brian Johnson. Listen to the locking. Stop any hijacking from going on in the yard. And we'll put him up here. Just there for the moment. Yeah, looks quite nice in here actually. It always does. Any car looks quite nice inside with the fluorescent lamp on it. It's going to look nicer in a minute though, because this car is about to be adorned with the Project Nigel sticker. Maybe two. And I think the perfect place for the sticker is there, because you can't open that window. So why don't I do an instructional video, a rather patronising instructional video on how to stick one of these on, because I've got quite a lot more of these coming and I don't want them going wrong.
Clean the surface dry thoroughly with a lint-free cloth. Don't apply when it's raining.
Missing apostrophe on don't and it's. It's raining. That needs an apostrophe. It's without an apostrophe is when there's possession involved. Is that patronising enough? I hope so. Anyway, because these are essentially decals rather than actual stickers, there's a bit of a process to get this so it's right. Otherwise it can go wrong, and you wouldn't really want that. On this side there's an original sticker for oil, but as you can see it's very, very faded indeed. So I'm just going to, well, ignore that basically. And then we have to get the backing off of this, which isn't massively easy. I think what I need to do is sort of press it down first. Success. Of course, what's happened while I've been inside is the sun's come out. He's got his Kevlar hat on and he's about to play. Time to do this side. Should I show you it all again or not? Probably not. Stickers. I have just been to the post office with a parcel of a switch pack for Rover 75. It was closed. It's always closed, that post office. In a moment I'm going to eat a pasty from Aldi. It's not quite out of date, but it's still non-microwavable, and I'm going to do this just for Shoestring Shed, who mentioned eating pasties. He didn't request I ate one, I just suggested I would do, just for him. Okay, here it is, the big moment. Pasty. I'm going to eat this pasty as a performance. So Next job for me is going to be to remove some of the scratches on this car. If I can, that is. See how close we have to get to actually be able to see them. I can see them from here. This and that. Apparently that's out of date. Shouldn't matter too much though, because I'm not going to eat it. That's a quick buff over, and that scratch is gone, which I wasn't really expecting. That one's still there, just a little tiny bit. Still, good results. Look at the time, 5 to 4. And regrettably, that pasty I had before for my dinner is still making me feel lethargic. Now, anyway, should I do some clay barring on this car? Yes, okay. One of the things about clay barring is it brings it out. So the purpose of clay barring is to remove all of those contaminants that get stuck in the paint. Just those bits aren't going to just wash off, and on a silver car you're more likely to get more of them, and every time I run this over there all sorts of horrible little bits are coming off. Silver cars don't get washed as much as red cars or blue cars or black cars, which means that it's even filthier than it looks. That's the top half all clay barred, and because it's still a bit wet, you see this funny coloured liquid. Looks almost like it's got vinegar spilt on it, but it's not, it's just the dirt off the paint. Because this is a rather impromptu clay bar session, I didn't think to do the thing I should have done beforehand really, which would have been to get a brush out and do all the crevices. So I'm going to do that next. Bits like that there and there, you get this dirty build-up of horrid stuff. Don't think that's ever been cleaned, it's struggling to come up a bit really. Next step of course is the orbital buffer to swirl the paint around and make it hopefully less scratchy. That's one big blast over with the orbital buffer. Just going to get all that stuff off there now. Stuff? Yeah, that stuff. That stuff that removes the swirls. Let's hope it has done. Well people, that is the end of what I'm going to do today. No more. Starting to rain, 6 o'clock. There's no point in me trying to put the wax on at this time. Especially when it's doing that. Well, I don't know why I'm lying down. I'm going to get up. Basically. Anyway, for the moment, that really doesn't really look much different because it's silver, but it will repel the water quite a bit. I'd actually be quite happy to see it properly rain now, just so I can see this one bead up as well. It's not going to bead up like Nigel though. No, not yet, but it might do tomorrow. Good night, Nigel. Doesn't feel like I've done very much videoing today. But when I edit all this together, I might find there's absolutely loads of it. But at the moment, it feels like there's going to be about 2 minutes. That's not very much, is it? I really do like these actually. They're nice and subtle. Not like that. That's not subtle. That's as subtle as a hint from a barber. Hairdresser, whatever you want to call them. I've seen the way they look at me whenever I've walked past the hairdressers. It's almost like they think they've seen a rat. Don't bother me. I do hope I don't get bored of that 25 next month, because in this one, in Alfie, 2,200 miles I've done it, I still just feel so comfortable in it, so happy to drive it. Maybe because it just looks so classy in this colour, looks so different to other cars. Makes me quite, I don't know, it's just, I feel quite proud of this car. When I look at it, I think, yeah, that's my car. And I do that with Nigel as well. But I don't think I can do that with that 25. In fact, no, I'm not going to. Then again, I didn't buy that car, Brian Johnson, to keep. I bought it very much with the intention of fixing and selling back on. Or if it couldn't be fixed, have it for parts. But I was fairly sure that it could have been fixed anyway. Maybe it's just I like to find any excuse to spend all day cleaning up paint. What a strange thing. Maybe there's some sort of condition. We like to have names for conditions. We like to even suggest that things are conditions rather than you just being a bit of an oddball. Anyway, how is it an old saloon car like this can just keep my interest? It's not got a special engine, 1.6k series. It is as slow as they go for a Rover 45, probably even more so having a boot. Maybe not, maybe that hatchback, I don't know, maybe it doesn't make any difference having a booted version, but it's not a sports car. It's not overly practical. It doesn't even have leather seats, yet I just really enjoy driving it. What is it that they've done? How did they make this car so pleasing? When I basically get bored of cars really, really easily, but I'm still enjoying this one. The other thing is, of course, at some point I'm going to be parting with this car, and I'd quite happily not do. But maybe I should just keep it. Yeah, maybe I should. No, I'm not going to.